Hi, it's Anthony from CarPlayLife.com, and in this video I'll be looking at an upgraded Qualcomm 665 AI box from M.I.C. This Android 10 OS AI box mirrors the same specifications as the previous AI box I reviewed from M.I.C. Yet this one offers the addition of an HDMI port, and internally it also features a faster Wi-Fi chip specs too. In the box you get the dongle itself. There is also a USB-A to USB-C cable to power the dongle, and they also supply a USB-C adapter to connect to more modern CarPlay vehicles. Unfortunately, there were no instructions or a mini HDMI cable included in the box. Looking over the dongle itself, it's similar in size to their first version that they did. However, this one has a much curvier design. It kind of matches the same casing as the CP508 AI box that you'll now find shipping out of China. Yet on the front of the M.I.C, it shows the same model number as their previous dongle, which is unfortunately not selling anymore. So if you want to pick up one of their dongles or similar, these are the ones that you need to look out for. On one end of the dongle, you have the same TF card slot for external media storage. There's a USB-C port to power the dongle, and at the end there is a SIM card slot to supply the dongle with its own internet connection. Over on the other end of the dongle, there is a new mini HDMI port for video output to another display in the rear of your car, or you could simply hook the dongle up to a powered USB port and connect it to a TV or monitor display. And with a Bluetooth remote paired to the dongle, you can then navigate and control apps on the dongle from a distance. Both video and audio from the AI box is sent over HDMI. However, in my test with a secondary HDMI display, the primary CarPlay display lagged a lot behind the HDMI display, whilst the touch input on the primary carried out all my touch input commands onto the HDMI display in real time, long before the primary display could even show what I was pressing. At the back of the case, there are lots of holes to help passively cool the Qualcomm 665 chipset that sits inside. This particular chipset does get quite hot, so it's recommended that you have these holes facing upwards to help with cooling the dongle. The QC665, or it's known as the 6125, is one of the fastest processors I've experienced on an AI box. I find anything less just doesn't really cut it in terms of speed, multitasking between apps, and your general experience navigating menus and its main user interface. Booting the HDMI box into its main menu took 28 seconds from a hot boot. I tried it on my Alpine X902D and my Pioneer 93 DAB aftermarket systems, and they had no issues running this dongle. Yet it didn't boot into my Deciter Vivid 10 Android head unit, which is expected. Just like the previous version, they have used the same menu interface, which has a persistent sidebar dock that displays the last 3 used apps, and there are clear back and home buttons that have additional functions when held down to either enter into split screen mode, as well as switching between currently running apps. With 4 GB of RAM inside, there is enough memory to hold a handful of apps in memory, so you can switch back to them without having to reload them. And the 64 GB of storage really ends up being around about 40 GB after it's installed Android 10 operating system and its pre-installed apps. To be honest, this is plenty of storage space to download the majority of apps and media that you'll want to use or play back on your CarPlay display. And should you need more, you can always insert the TF card into the dongle for additional storage up to around 128 GB. All these AI boxes are pretty done without an internet connection, so the first thing you'll likely need to do is fire up the Wi-Fi settings menu and tether the dongle to a personal hotspot from your iPhone or Android device, or connect it to a local Wi-Fi hotspot in your car. For the best experience, you can also insert a dedicated SIM into the dongle, which I thoroughly recommend you do if you want to also use wireless CarPlay and Android Auto. This is because both need the dongle's Wi-Fi connection, and it will disconnect the internet from the Android OS apps that are currently running on the dongle. Once online, you can update any pre-installed apps and download new ones from the Google Play Store, or sideload any older or unofficial apps through the APK installer app that comes pre-installed on the dongle. Apps like YouTube and Netflix come pre-installed on this dongle as well. Both video streaming apps run well and can operate whilst on the move for any passengers that might want to watch, but please do make sure if it's legal to do so in your country. I won't go into more about the software on this dongle, so check out my earlier review of the previous version to find out more, as it will just be the same with this dongle. Wireless CarPlay and Android Auto are handled in the Multiplay Android app on the dongle. Pairing your phone to the dongle over Bluetooth will fire up each car platform wirelessly onto your CarPlay display. CarPlay took 12 seconds to launch, whilst Android took a little longer at 21 seconds. From here, both platforms behave responsively and with the usual common Wi-Fi traits of a slight 1 to 2 second delay in audio and input commands. The improved Wi-Fi chipset shows improved max data rates of 433.3 megabits per second. And with a stronger signal strength over the earlier version of this dongle, this will help make the dongle more reliable than some other AI boxes that are currently out there. I tried out a few games on the dongle to test its grunt and performance, and just like the earlier dongle, this handled some fairly intensive games fairly well. And again, without dual Bluetooth on this particular dongle, I couldn't pair up a Bluetooth Xbox controller, but I was able to use their Bluetooth remote that M.I.C also kindly supplied me, that mimics a single touchscreen input by moving the cursor on screen and simply pressing the OK button, or using the D-pad to navigate the main menu UI. This HDMI box from M.I.C currently retails for €209.99 from Amazon DE. And they've also opened up the Amazon UK account, and you can now buy it from Amazon UK for £269.99. And you can check out my links down below to find out more about this dongle and to buy yourself one. Unfortunately, the HDMI box from M.I.C doesn't sell directly on Amazon US, but you could try shipping from Amazon DE or UK, or worst case, search for the similar dongle, the CP508 AI box instead. This dongle is more of an evolutionary upgrade to their original version, which is already packing the same Qualcomm 665 processor. I've now done some benchmark tests of all the Android AI dongles, so you can see a like-for-like performance comparison between them all. And you can clearly see that the Snapdragon processors in the earlier version and this version clearly does have much going for it compared to the other dongles. And going forward, my next reviews, I will keep doing these benchmark tests so you can compare it to any other dongle that comes out in the future. The addition of HDMI output is very handy if you want to pass a movie or video game to the rear display in your car, or if you wish to use the dongle on an HDMI display or monitor, along with the Bluetooth remote that M.I.C also sells online. As speed goes, this dongle is still one of the best you can get right now, and honestly, this is really the baseline of where these AI boxes should be. The faster chipset offers a smoother and less janky experience over less spec dongles with slower CPUs and GPUs. So if you're looking to pick up an AI box today, I would definitely consider putting this HDMI box from M.I.C on your shortlist. If you'd like to watch another one of my CarPlay Android AI box reviews, you can check out this video right here, and I'll see you there. Thanks for watching though to the end of this video. If you have, please leave me a thumbs up and let me know in the comments if you have any questions about this AI box from M.I.C, and I'll look forward to seeing you on the next one. Cheers. Bye.